Dear Diary, I met an old friend of mine today. Her name is Achupi. She tells me she has 5 children now, 2 girls and 3 boys. I knew her when she just had 3, 2 boys and a girl. She said she had a boy and a girl after. Her 3rd child, Veronica, I was quite fond of her at the time I knew them. They moved out of town and I never saw them until today when we met. Achupi asked me if we could sit for a cup of coffee, and I said that was fine. So she decided to tell me about the past 30 years of her life. Achupi was married to a mutual friend of ours and they are divorced now. So she happens to live with the kids. She says that she feels she failed or she has failed at parenting, especially with her 3rd child, Veronica. I asked her why. This was her story. She said that after years of marriage and the marriage didn't work, her husband or ex-husband quickly remarried. She decided to take the kids, so the husband was supporting her. Soon after, she desperately wanted to get married as a single parent. But who was going to take her in with 5 children? She said she wasn't even sure about how the children felt. It took her forever. After 8 years, she finally got someone around. This was one of the bank managers of one of the reputable banks. He used to come to her house. She was so excited about finding someone that she didn't want anything to get in her way. Sometimes, even though she didn't have much, what she got from her petty trading, she would put all together to cook for the man. The man used to visit her in the evenings. Her sons, who were quite older at the time, didn't used to stay home at all. She said she knew why. She said she knew that they didn't want to deal with their mother hanging out with another man in their home. And till today, she still feels guilty about that. But her 3rd daughter, Veronica, she was always home. She had completed secondary school then and was at home awaiting her results. So Mr. Bank Manager visits her, she cooks for him and all that. And the man had shown interest in the children as well. So finally she had found someone who would love her and love her dogs, in quotes. This man would come around while she would be in the kitchen. The man would ask to see his to-be daughter and other kids. The boys would be out, but Veronica would be around. The last 2 were living with her sister at the time. She says one evening, Veronica comes to her room and says she needs to talk to her. But before that, Mr. Bank Manager had asked that, while she's in the kitchen, he wants to have time with his daughter, and he would bring chocolate and other things for Veronica. Veronica went to see her mother, and then the last thing Achupi expected was said. She said, "Mommy, your friend has been touching me, and when you are returning from the kitchen, he stops. He touches my breast, tries to put his hands in my panties and all that." Out of remorse, Veronica, Achupi says, "Auntie Marian, I didn't let my daughter finish. Till today, I would be a liar if I say that I didn't know why. for once after 8 years, I have found someone. And then my daughter comes to me, tells me that the person is interested in her. How is that supposed to even work? At that moment, she was my sworn enemy. But today, my regret is I chose a man over my child. Years later, when she finally got to talk to Veronica, Veronica told her what she went through to even come and talk to her, knowing her mother's temper. The girl said after the man left that night, she went to her room, cried, prayed, tried to get a memory verse from the Bible to comfort her or to show her what to do. And I so understand what she was saying, because she says Veronica told her, you know, sometimes you just want to see things like be still and know I am God, and you see Israelites and chariots and all sort of things. She says they were so not connected to what she wanted to do or she needed to do. So that Veronica finally gathered courage, went to see her mom, only for her mom to flare up. She said she flared up so bad that when the boys came back home that night, she basically turned her kids against her daughter. She says that even at the time, she should have realized that she was keeping her kids out of the house, because her sons returned after 11 in the night. But because she had time to do her own thing, she couldn't be bothered. And these were young men who were in the university and could have fallen into in bad company. Sometimes as parents or as human beings, when we are seeking for things or we finally decide to pursue the things we desire, we sometimes want to forget what our responsibilities are. She says the next day, well, after she flared up, insulted Veronica and all that, she had a good cry that night. That was Veronica. She said that night she hated her daughter, but deep within her, she also knew her daughter was speaking the truth. But the pain of letting go what she has finally found after so many years, was nothing to look forward to. The next morning, Veronica asked her if she could go and live with her auntie so that she would help her auntie with her business. She said she gladly said yes. And that is how she lost her daughter till today. Veronica never came back to her. They still relate as mother and daughter, but they still have an unspoken word. Only the two of them understand. She says she knows Veronica feels she let her down, and she knows she let her down, but she cannot just bring herself to talk about it. I understand that, Chippy. I also understand Veronica. They are two different individuals. The only difference is that one is meant to look after the other. And sometimes when you lose that opportunity or bracket of help, you lose it for life. We may have different situations in our homes. Some of us may have similar stories. Like I always say, we'll be glad to share yours. So subscribe to Auntie Marian'S Diary on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Comment, share with the world and your friends, and don't forget to ring a bell for the next episode. See you.